Hey, hi everyone. Welcome to the Specialized Automations. I am Aditya, and today in this video, I'll be discussing about the Oracle Stored Procedure. Okay, so without ado, let's get started with the Stored Procedure in Oracle. So, what is Stored Procedure? Stored Procedure, or a simple procedure, is a set of SQL statements that used to perform a specific task. Okay, and it's similar to the anonymous PLSQL block, but it is named for the repeated uses. So we will be providing some name to the store procedure so that we can execute it later for some particular or specific task. Okay. So the next important part is that why should we use store procedure in database? One of the important fact is that it helps us to execute multiple database operations in a single call. Okay. The next thing is that it used to migrate data from one table to another table, and it is one of the most important point that keeping store procedure, we can have our store procedure in one location, so it's simply implying that there is no confusion of having business role that can be spread over in different segment of our applications. The next point, because as a script and store procedure are located in single locations, so updates and tracking of dependency based on the schema changes becomes more easier. And as from the testing perspective, it can be tested independent of the applications. Okay, so those are the reasons that's why we should use store procedure in database. Next thing is the Oracle syntax of the store procedure that we will use in Oracle database. So first syntax, the header portions, we need to use create or replace procedure, and we have to provide the procedure name. The replace keyword is the optional, and if you want to change or alter or modify your existing procedure, then you have to give the replace keyword. Okay, and then you have to provide the parameter. There are three sets of parameter we can mention in Oracle database, Oracle store procedure: in, out, and in out parameter. Okay, so in parameter, it can be referenced by the procedure or function, and this type of value cannot be overwritten. Okay, and out parameter, this parameter cannot be referenced by the procedure or the functions, and this type of value can be overwritten. Okay, and in out, this parameter can be referenced by the procedure, and this type of parameter can be overwritten by the procedure. Okay, so there are three sets of parameter. Next important part is that is or as, with these two keyword we need to use. So we will be using as if you want to create one standalone store procedure that will be stored in the database server, or else if you want to go for normal store procedure, you can use the keyword as a is. Okay, then in the declaration section, we need to provide whatever the variables you want to declare. This is the body portion that comes to the begin. Inside the body portion, we'll be writing about SQL statement or block and whatever the operation we want to do. Okay, so executable sections comes inside this body portions, and in case of any exception, if you will fetch, we will catch this exception and print those messages in the console. And next, we'll be closing the procedure by the end. Okay, so this is the pretty much syntax about the Oracle store procedure. So without ado, let's get see one example of this store procedure. Okay, so I'm using currently Oracle 11G. I'm showing you for a table. That table is TCOC table. Okay, so for TCOC table, let me show you. Okay, my TCS table containing the license ID, driver, and status. License ID is the number, and rest of field, driver, and status, two columns are varchar. Okay, that is the length of 26 that I've given. If let's see the data it's containing. So all this 12 dummy data that I put into that TCOC table, that is containing all these things. Okay, now if I want to do operations like update, insert, delete operations, let's create one store procedure. Okay, for that. So I have already created one store procedure that will be helpful when you will call this procedure, and it provide the parameter. It will update this particular table, TCOC table. Okay, so let me show you the procedure that I've written. It's a little bit big, I know, because I've also provided lots of console output and DBMS output putland. That's why. And apart from it, I've also used the handle this created one user defined exceptions. Okay, that's why. Let me explain you step by step. Okay. So the first step that I have told, first you have to create or replace procedure. That is the replace code is optional, but for this case I am also providing. Okay, so each and every time if I want to modify or alter, so it will be helpful. Then I'm giving the procedure name update underscore tcoc. This is the procedure name, and inside that I need to provide the whatever the parameter and whatever the type of the parameter. So I'm providing p underscore status. This is the in parameter, and what this parameter will contain tcoc dot status percentage type. It simply means in the tcoc table we can see in the tcoc table the status field, whatever the status field contain failed, pass, not applicable. Okay, so this parameter will contain table tcoc table status column type value. Okay, so whatever the value type that stored into this particular column, it will get stored into the p underscore status. Similarly, I have taken p underscore lid. This parameter, this is an in parameter also, it will store tcoc dot license id. License id percentage type. The percentage type is the license id column type data will get stored into the p underscore lid. This is the two in parameter I am taken. And the next I have taken two out parameter. So in that case, suppose I'm gonna select some particular license id, and against this license id I'm updating the status. Okay, so I want the name to be printed for which driver name the license id has been changed and the status has been changed. Okay, suppose I wanna update some status of some particular driver. Okay, so in that case, suppose take it as example, I am printing out the driver name for which driver update operation has been done. So p name, that is containing tcoc the driver, this column value. Okay, this is the out parameter, and p underscore error underscore message that I have taken for exception handling. Okay, this message is basically I have taken varchar 2. Apart from all the things, I have used a percentage type. Whatever the column type, same data will get stored. Okay, next thing I have taken, uh, let me just modify it. License lr. This is not mandatory. For that I have taken, I will discuss it later. So this is basically license LR I've taken for license lower range and higher range. So for my lower range, we can see this is the 5, starting with the 5s. This is 6 digit. So 5 is the lower range and higher range is 8. Okay. So suppose there is I'm doing some certain kind of exception, handling some exceptions, that this is the limit has been provided of the license. If you providing license more than this value, yeah, less than this value, then it will print that it is an invalid license that you have provided. Okay, so that's why these two fields are not mandatory. You can just skip this part. Okay, so for this I have just declared this license hr, higher range and lower range. Okay, now all these things has been done. Now it comes to the begin portions. So inside this all the things that I'm doing. Okay, inside the begin portions, so dbms underscore output dot enable. So I'm basically enabling the console output so that all the things that I'm going to do is should get printed. So next line I've given job start time. When the procedure when you will be executing the procedure, when this should start, it will print the current that particular time. Okay, so taken two character job start time, two character sysdate. Sysdate is getting converted to this particular date format. Okay, and this value, select minimum license id that I've already told. Select minimum license id into employee lr. Let me change it. And this one is fetching the maximum license value from the TCC table to license underscore HR. Okay, so now I'm defining some exceptions, like if the PL ID that I'm giving. Okay, so for update operation I need to provide this is the user ID, this is the license ID. For this license ID the status will get changed. So whatever the license ID I'm providing, if it is less than the lower range of the license lower range, then it should print some error, or if it is higher than the license ID, then it should get error. So raising an application error, failed due to invalid id provided. Okay, and closing this end if conditions. Okay, and if it is not, then if the valid data provided, I'm printing valid data provided, employer id lower range, employer id higher range. So the lower range higher range will get printed. Then I'm doing update tcoc. There's a simple update operations. Update my table, set table column equal to p underscore status. Okay, p underscore status that I'm gonna pass. Okay, that is an in parameter that I'm going to pass, where tcoc.license id equal to PLID this is also in parameter. I'm gonna pass it. Okay, and the next thing, this is the out parameter p name. So I'm printing next thing is select tcoc driver. Okay, so this particular table driver column value would get transferred into the p name. This is the variable out parameter, where TCOT status equal to P status and license ID equal to PID. So whatever the license ID and the status I'll be providing after updations, it will print the driver name. Okay. Then normal I'm printing updated successfully for which user, which driver it's printing, and how many rows are affected, it will be printed. Okay, and I'm committing this. And exception I'm handling this way, whenever you are providing some others value, it will fetch the message SQL ERRM. This is, I will come to it. I will discuss it later in my another video. That have taken one out parameter p underscore error message. So it will contain a SQL error message. I'm enabling the output printing. Check correctly before. Let's check it. Before proceed with before proceed failed with error, it will print the error message along with the error code. I'm also printing the SQL error code. Okay, so end update TCOC. This is the trigger procedure that I'm currently closing this trigger by this end. Okay, so this is my procedure. Okay, it's look like a bit little huge, but it's not actually. Let me do one thing. Now the next part is that uh, we can uh, we can have a procedure. We can execute a procedure. Before we need to execute, we need to compile this. Okay, let me just compile this first. It's showing error, check compiler logs. Employee must be declared. Okay, sometime something I've taken. uh, okay, this not employee error, this will be license error. Okay, clearing the console. Let me just compile it again. So procedure has been successfully compiled. Okay, procedure update underscore TCS is successfully compiled. So now after it's successfully compiled, let me execute the procedure. So for to execute the procedure, we can see there is two in parameter that I need to provide. There is two out parameter. Okay, so all these four parameters I need to provide. Okay, first I'll provide the status, second ID, second the name, second the name we don't have to provide. It will get fetched from this particular procedure if we execute it. Okay, so suppose there are several ways you can execute the procedure. If you want to execute the procedure, you have to write execute or exec. Okay, so I'm using for this, I'm using named annotations, named notations for to understand it more better. Okay, so basically inside this store procedure, I'm passing value like p underscore status failed, LID underscore, I'm giving 879369. P name is the X, that is a variable I'm given. This is the out parameter, and error message if any, it will also fetch. This is given as out parameter. Okay. So before that, I need to let me show you what the data content. Okay. So data, suppose this sixth row contain the data Donald Trump status is showing NA. License ID is 125897. 125897. Okay. Suppose I want to show it as a pass. Okay. I want to show it as a pass. Okay. So providing the license ID and providing the status as the input parameter, and this two output parameter it will automatically fetch. Okay. So let me just clear the console and execute the procedure. Okay. Okay. So it's showing that PLSQL procedure successfully completed. Job start time, that is job start time given. Job start time, so it's getting printed. Along with, first it will check for any exception or not. This is a valid data, valid license ID provided, so it's not showing any kind of exceptions. It's showing valid data provided. Employee ID lower range 1 to 5 5897. Employee ID higher range is printing. So if you provide lower than this particular, not employee ID, let me, I will change it to license ID. Okay. And next in printing, updated successfully for Donald Trump. Okay. And successfully updated the current status for total record 1 record has been updated. Now let me just check this table if it is updated or not. So we can see Donald Trump, it's showing pass. Okay. Let me, now this time I will provide some invalid LID. Okay. And CNS license ID, CNS license ID high range. Let me recompile it again. Successfully compiled. Okay. Now suppose I'm providing as a value as a 999999999. So suppose this is more than the higher range. Okay. And now if I'm trying to execute this, let me see the error. Okay. Procedure successfully completed. Job start time. Now it's showing check correctly before proceeding. Failed with error or with the error code ORA 20011. This is a custom exception that I have created. It's showing failed due to invalid employee ID provided with the error code is printing. So that I've given conditions that if the LID if we greater than the higher range, then it should fail. It should be in between the lower range and the higher range. Okay. Then it is printing fail due to the invalid employee ID provided along with the message check correctly before proceed with the error. Okay. Okay. Now simply I'm providing LID as a 1 2. So this is also invalid, right? Let me just clear the console. But this is lower than the lower range. If I execute it, I should face the same. Fail due to invalid employee ID provided. So what is the lower range, higher range? We need to provide in between that. Okay. Now let me clear this one. I will show you. I will update one another. Okay. Like for CCC. Okay. It's license ID 127425. It's showing failed. Suppose for CCC, I'm going to update the status as a pass. So 127425. 127425. This is the license ID. I want to show it as a past. Sorry, not this one. Let me just copy the same thing. As I already told that you can use execute or exec only command. Let's just see with exec. Okay. Now just clear the console has been cleared. If I execute this, it's showing valid data provided along with the lower higher range updated successfully for this CCC. This is the driver name. A total record 1. if I see the query, so CCC has been passed successfully. Okay, so this is how we can create on procedure and execute it. For this case, I've taken on named notations. That's why I've taken this way, and you can also take it this way only, like execute procedure, procedure name, TCOC, directly give it as a failed, then whatever the ID you wanna provide, 127425, then X, then Y. Okay, this is the positional notations you can also use. I was using the named notations. Okay, another thing that is that if you want to execute your stored procedure, you can directly execute it inside the anonymous block also. Suppose I want to execute it. Okay, so if you use anonymous block, you don't have to use the execute keyword. Now suppose for this case, for suppose gym carry, I want to show, for the gym carry I want to update the status as a fail, pass, from fail to pass. So this is the license ID 712587, 712587, and gym carry I'm showing pass. Okay, again I'm doing it wrong. No, this is not here. Okay. So now here I'm executing from the anonymous PLSQL box. So status will begin, then the procedure name, what are the parameter I'm passing, or what are the out parameter I've declared before. Okay. So let me just quickly clear the console. Let me just run it. Okay. Bind variable Y. Okay. Got it. Cause I've taken variable is Z. It's Y, now it's Y. It's both fine. Let me just execute it again. Okay, so it's showing the valid data provided, updated successfully for gym carry, successfully updated rows, total row affected 1. Now select the data from the table. So it's showing gym carry status has been passed successfully. Okay, so guys, as of now, we have seen that we have created one simple store procedure while we are using in parameter, out parameter. Four parameter I've used, and we have seen that how to execute procedure, like from inside from anonymous block, or you can directly execute it. Okay, and this was my store procedure. This was my store procedure. Uh, where I am handling the user defined exceptions along in a printing, checking for valid license range has been provided or not. Okay, so this is how you can create store procedure. I've done only for update operation. You can create for insert delete operation, or if you want to do some particular specific task as per the requirement for your DB, so you can just get it done using this. Okay, using the store procedure. Okay, so if you have any questions regarding how to do in out operations and how to create advanced procedure, okay, so please do let me know in the below comment sections. Okay, thanks guys, thank you for watching, have a good day, bye bye.